name is Dev. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I received funding on September 22nd, and I completed the evaluation in about 20 weeks, 82 trading days. I started on May 6th, and I finished on September 17th. And so it was a really long evaluation, and I did the 150K account. I chose that account because it felt like the appropriate size for my strategy that I'm trading. It felt like, I felt like it was a good balance between the drawdown amount that we're allowed and, what my goals are. And so it felt like the right account size for me. And my trading approach can be defined as a trend retracement strategy that I trade in the E-mini S&P. The first reason that I really chose OneUp is that I felt like their evaluation is a lot more lenient than some of the competitors. I did try out TopStep initially. I was going to do the evaluation with them, and then I came across OneUp, and I did the pros and cons. I compared the two, and I just did not like the fact that TopStep has a weekly max drawdown. OneUp doesn't have a weekly max drawdown. There's only a daily drawdown, and also with TopStep, you have to go through 2 rounds of a 14-day evaluation, whereas with OneUp, there's only 1 round. And the second reason was that I found that OneUp has a very good support community. There's a lot of traders that are with OneUp that you can bounce ideas off of and learn from one another. And also their customer support is also very good. And I also felt that OneUp has just built a very good reputation for itself. I've really only come across positive reviews, and I never really came across anything negative. I did a lot of research on YouTube, and I just read around the internet and tried to see which of these companies would work best for me. And I just thought I found that to be OneUp. Absolutely. I don't really have any, I don't really know anybody that's an experienced trader, but if I knew anybody that was trying to get into trading, I think OneUp is the way to go. Primarily because you're not putting your own capital at risk. You're using somebody else's money, and most people, when they start out trading, they lose all their money. And so this is really a good way to start out learning, and you really just pay a monthly fee, and it's a good way to figure out your strategy and learn the markets and get your feet wet without losing any money. And so really I think this company is the way to go, and it also provides a good system and a set of rules for you to follow so that you don't blow your account. Typically when people are starting out, they'll open an account with a broker and they'll just trade without any rules and no system, and they lose all their money. So this is really a good way to learn discipline, learn rules, develop a system for yourself, and not lose any money. And so that's why I would really recommend it. I can't recall having any issues with Rhythmic or with NinjaTrader, or just to log in. Nothing that I can recall that required me to contact support. I did get through pretty quickly when I passed the evaluation. I went onto the chat on the website and somebody responded right away, and immediately we were just going through the next steps, and they emailed me my contract and all of that, and it went really quickly. So it seems like their support team is very responsive and also very supportive. I received funding less than a week after I completed the evaluation. I completed the evaluation on a Friday, and then I spoke to chat on the website, someone from the support team over the website chat, and they emailed me and told me that I passed. Congratulations. And then by Monday, I received my contract and I signed it. And by Thursday, it was basically when I was able to log in. I got my account credentials, I logged in, and I started trading on my funded account. So the turnaround was pretty quick. It was less than a week. With TopStep, I've heard it can be pretty long. People that I knew that went through the evaluation with TopStep and passed, some of them are waiting 2 or 3 weeks to get funded. And OneUp, I was surprised at how quick the turnaround was. And it was a really smooth transition. Nothing really changed as far as the platform. I already had an NinjaTrader license, so I was ready to go. And that Thursday I just started trading on my funded account, and it was really exciting. There were no hidden fees when I got funded. Actually, my subscription was canceled. I got an email saying that my subscription's canceled, so I don't have to pay the monthly fee anymore, which is great. And I'm not paying for data. It's all paid for already. I'm only paying for the platform license on NinjaTrader. And yeah, that's it. So I actually did receive a warning on my first day because I made a small little mistake where I accidentally put on too many contracts, and it was a human error on the platform on NinjaTrader. I had a limit order that I was trying to click on to move, and the market got too close to it and touched it and filled it before I could click on it. So I accidentally ended up placing a second limit order, and that was filled immediately, and before I knew it, I had way too many contracts on, and I was like, oh crap. So I flattened my position right away. And I received an email from the funding partner the next day, basically saying they're on a 2-strike system, and I can't let that happen again. And so I've just been very careful since that happened, because I worked really hard for this funded account, and day one, I received that warning, so it didn't feel great, and so I'm just being a lot more careful now. I did mention this, that I tried out TopStep, and I didn't get through their evaluation very quickly. I actually stopped when I came across OneUp. I stopped after about a week and a half. I wasn't very far towards the profit goal anyway, but I came across OneUp and I read about some of the stuff that I liked better than TopStep, and so I just canceled my TopStep account and I signed up for OneUp. Yeah, I know there are some other ones out there that I was also interested in trying out. I just didn't feel that they compared to OneUp and some of what OneUp was offering, which is just the 1 round evaluation and no weekly drawdown limit, and the 250K account I also thought was pretty cool because I didn't see that with any of the competitors. It was a little too much for me, but I appreciate that they had more options for people that are looking to trade professionally. And yeah, I really decided that OneUp was who I wanted to try to get funding with. Yeah, as I mentioned, I tried TopStep, and it wasn't for me. The weekly drawdown limit I thought was too limiting, and there's no such limit with OneUp. Basically everything was kind of the same as what they have going on over there, except it's a little bit more lenient with OneUp. There's no drawdown limit. The evaluation's only 1 round. I don't like that, TopStep is a 2-round evaluation because, as I said, I took 82 trading days to get through my evaluation with OneUp. And I can't imagine having to go through that again with TopStep. So that was basically why I didn't really go anywhere else. I thought that OneUp had the best system in place. And, I really liked the website. I like the metrics that they give on your account details on the page, and I like that there's a social media dashboard. There's a Discord group for people that are in the evaluation or people that are funded, and it just feels like there's a more of a community with OneUp than with TopStep, who I tried to do the evaluation with before, and that's really why I haven't gone anywhere else. I trade a very mechanical set of rules, filters and parameters that I kind of discovered and developed in a way that, it doesn't require me to make too many subjective decisions in my trading. I find that, when I end up making subjective decisions rather than using a more logical, process-based approach, I end up with more losses than wins. And so with that psychological approach, I trade a high probability trend retracement strategy in markets that break out of consolidation. And right now, the only market that I'm doing that in is with the E-mini S&P, the ES. I am trying to, back test it and see if I could trade it in other markets just to kind of diversify when the ES isn't really trending. But yeah, that's kind of how I trade. I look for a market that I look for when it's in consolidation. I wait for it to break out. When it's forming a trend, when it starts to pull back during that trend, I use an indicator called value charts, and that gives me a good entry point. And I use a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So it's kind of like scalping. Sometimes it's scalping if I'm doing it in a 1-minute chart. I also do it on longer term time frames. I'll go up to a 2-minute, a 5-minute, a 10-minute, a 20-minute time frame. And I also don't take any trades on these time frames unless the market, broke out on a higher time frame. So I kind of use multiple time analysis. I look at different charts. Multi-time frame analysis is what the word I was looking for is. And I also log every trade that I take into a trading log. I think it's really important to track my metrics and evaluate myself and see what adjustments I need to make to my strategy if I'm going through a drawdown. And so that was really why I took so long on the evaluation. It's because I was still going through this process of figuring out what my strategy is. And every time that I went through a drawdown, I took a step back from the computer. And I looked at my trading log. I evaluated, tried to figure out, what rule could I put into place that would have prevented this drawdown from happening. And so NinjaTrader has a really neat tool, a neat feature called market replay. And so I would go into market replay mode and I would replay that day that I was going through that drawdown. And I would, try to overlay that new rule and see if it would have prevented me from, taking that big loss, taking that big drawdown. And so over the couple of weeks that I was in the evaluation, this is what I was doing. And, slowly I just kind of refined my strategy and worked my way up until I was able to pass the evaluation. And I'm doing really well on the funded account. And so that's, that's telling me that my system is working. All the hours that I put into back testing, all the hours that I put into market replay and refining my strategy and logging everything, looking at my metrics, tracking all this data, figuring out where I can improve, that all paid off. And that's really how I trade. I think that, the more that you can trade like a robot and less like a human, the more profitable you're going to end up being. So that's something that that was probably my biggest takeaway during the evaluation, is learning how to trade very methodically, using a very process-oriented approach, and trading very logically, not bringing any emotions into trading. Because the moment you start to do that, that's when you start to go through drawdown. That's when you end up blowing your account. And I've been through that multiple times over the years. I started in 2013 and lost thousands of dollars. And eventually, this is how I discovered I should be trading. And this is what's gotten me to become consistently profitable. Really, my ultimate goal is to be able to live off of this as income and not have to work. And so I really want to be able to get to a point where I can withdraw, the amount that I would need to cover my bills for the month, and maybe a little bit extra so I could enjoy myself. Yeah, I also want to grow the account. So if I could, make enough so that I could withdraw enough to live off of, but also grow the account, that's kind of my ideal goal. And so that's kind of where I'm headed with the funded account. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm working towards. Yeah, so usually I'm up around 6 or 7. I, shower, have breakfast, walk my dog. I like to do some meditation beforehand. And usually before I start trading, the first thing I'll do is to look at the economic calendar and make sure that there's no events that are coming up that are, I'm not allowed to trade during. And I actually have a rule that I came up with, which is that during FOMC day, I don't trade at all because my strategy just doesn't work well during those days. The volatility just doesn't mesh well with the trend retracement strategy that I'm trading. And so I just, I take the day off, and maybe I'll do some back testing, manual back testing, look through my trading log, see what I can improve on. But I try to stay away from the market during those days. And so looking at the economic calendar is really important. You have to do that every day that you're going to trade, because you could get yourself into trouble. And that was something that I didn't used to do in the past. And so I would, be trading, and I'd be in a position, and then surprise, there's an announcement at 10 o'clock. All of a sudden my position is tanking, and I didn't realize, I didn't look at the calendar beforehand. So that's really important. And so I look at the calendar. I'll look through my trading log for the previous couple of days. Look at, what days did I have a string of losses, and I'll go into Market Replay and NinjaTrader and just replay that day. I'll replay that day. And the cool thing about Market Replay in NinjaTrader is that the dome and the charts, they all just play through like you're trading live. And so you can take trades based on historical data, and it feels like you're trading live. So it's also kind of a cool way to warm up for me. So I'll just go through and redo some wins, redo some losses, see if I would have done anything differently. And it gets me warmed up for the trades that I'm going to take today. And so that's really my routine for the day. Absolutely, 100%. I really, I needed some kind of a system of rules to follow in terms of the amount that we're allowed to draw down before, we can't trade for the day. I didn't have any rule like that when I was trading on my own money. And so I would just, go through these big extended drawdowns, and before I know it, my account's blown. And so I didn't have any kind of, hard rule in place saying that, I cannot lose more than $4,000 today. And so having these hard rules in place that OneUp provides for us, I think it really structures you to learn how to manage your risk and not blow your account. And so once you learn that proper risk management, and you start to learn that trading is not about making money, trading is about not losing money, that's when you start to turn the corner as a trader. And that was kind of my realization. I think good traders, they focus on how can I not lose money. Bad traders focus on how much money can I make on this trade. And that was really, my realization going through this evaluation. And it's really, I turned the corner because of the evaluation. I've been at this since 2013, and I haven't been able to be consistently profitable over, a 6-month period of time until I went through the evaluation. And so it's really because of these hard rules that OneUp has in place. And I'm really glad that those rules are in place for the funded account. It's keeping me from, it's keeping me appropriately sized in terms of the size that I'm taking in my positions. And I try not to risk more than $1,000 per trade, and it's been working well for me. I know how to appropriately, position size with my trades. I know how to stop trading for the day when I'm going through a drawdown, and it's really it's improved the way that I track my metrics also, and it's done a lot for me. And I highly recommend it. This is the way to go if you're going to start out trading and you don't want to lose any money. And I feel like I'm a professional trader now. I never felt that way since 2013. I really do feel like a professional. I feel like this is something that I can do as a career for the rest of my life. And I owe a lot of this feeling, this success, I owe a lot of it to OneUp and the system that I've been through with this evaluation. A couple of things that I can say. The first one being, you should really get a trading log and get a trading log together. A trading log that will, give you your equity curve that you can track. You can track your equity curve across all of your trades. It'll let you know, this is my reward risk ratio, this is my expectancy, this is my win percentage. You really have to track those metrics. And I wasn't able to, start to achieve success until I started doing that. And I think it's really important. A lot of trading to me is like professional basketball. This is what a lot of these athletes do. They look at their own metrics. They see where they can improve. And I use a trading log called Trading Journal spreadsheet. It's been, really valuable for me. And I think it's also good to, to see your equity curve. It gives you confidence every time you hit that new peak in your equity. It also gives a good visual for your drawdowns so that you're not drawing down too much. It's really important to track that stuff. And, really that's kind of the best advice I can give. Also, I highly recommend, having a system of rules that, don't require a whole lot of human-based decision making. And you kind of develop a system of rules. Spend some time back testing your strategy, back test your system when you're not trading. Just to kind of equate trading to basketball again. To me, those hours from 9:30 to 4, that's kind of like being on the basketball court during game night. Outside of those hours, you should be really practicing your strategy. So let's say LeBron, for instance. He'll be, out on the practice court outside of those hours. And so to me, the practice court is in backtest mode. And so I'll go through and do manual backtesting of my strategy and get a good feel for, how I'm going to take a trade during a certain set of conditions that I see in the market. And manual backtesting, I think, is really important. I think, if you're not doing that, and you're not tracking it and seeing where you can improve and constantly improving your strategy, seeing where you can refine it, you're going to run into trouble at some point. And so I think every trader should be doing that. So really those are the two things, have a trading log together, track your metrics, spend a lot of time backtesting your strategy and seeing where you can improve. And I took 82 trading days to do that. It took me 20 weeks since beginning of May to middle of September. I was just doing that. And I made it a point to, whenever I got within a certain point where I was close to blowing my account, I would just take a step back and I would lower my position size and really see where I could, what needs to change in my system. My system's not working, so something has to change. And that's where the trading log comes in. You have to look at the trading log. You have to see, you got to go into backtest mode. You got to, see what needs to change. You got to put on your detective cap and, figure it out and figure out what am I doing wrong before you blow your account. And so there were 2 times during the evaluation where I came really close to blowing my account, and I did that. I stopped trading. I took a step back. I looked at my trading account. I went into market replay mode in NinjaTrader. I replayed that day or that week, and I did the trades all over again. And I tried to do some different things. Try to change some indicator settings. I tried looking at different time frames. I tried, messing with my position size, maybe going to a lower position size. Did a number of different things, and it was a combination of doing all of that I was able to really refine my strategy into something that is consistently profitable. And so that's what worked for me. It's I think it's really I've been doing this for a long time, and this year was really the first year that I've been consistently profitable doing it. And so that's really how I would approach trading. Yeah, that's kind of been my journey with trading. That's kind of how my last 6 months have been going. It's been a journey, and it's going to continue being a journey. And I'm having a good time with my funded account. Hopefully, knock on wood, I'm not going to lose it. I'm doing my best to stick to the rules that OneUp has provided with us, and our funding partners have provided to us, and gonna just keep seeing how far I can grow that funded account, and whether it's something I'll be able to live off of and continue doing this with. And I don't plan to leave OneUp anytime soon, because I've had a very good experience here. And yeah, if there's anybody that would like to reach out to me, I'm also on the Discord with all the other OneUp traders, and you feel free to reach out to me, message me, and you want to pick my brain. I have a lot of ideas, and I'm also, I love to hear from other traders out there. And it is a journey. It's like I said, I've been at this since 2013, and it's something that this is what I have the passion for doing, and this is what I want to do. And I hope to, make a bigger career out of this someday, where I'm also running my own fund and, trading other people's money, because it's a huge passion of mine, and there's nothing like it out there in the world. It's trading. I think it's probably, the most rewarding career outside of professional sports, because very, very few people on this planet are good at it. And the ones that are good at it, they get paid a lot of money. They make a lot of money doing it. And it's something that, you can love and enjoy doing.